After several delays, Daniel Craig is finally back for his final film as James Bond and No Time to Die. So is it worth the wait? Personally, I think yes. However, I do think this movie is going to be highly divisive, but I'll get to that in a minute. As always, the action sequences in this movie are fantastic. And even in the boring and overly complicated Quantum of Solace, the action in that film was great. And there are a lot of really classic Bond action tropes, like Bond using his car's headlights as a gun, the car chases, and of course the gadgets. Rami Malek is fantastic as the villain, and he feels very classic Bond villain, and his plan is very classic spy movie plan because he wants to unleash this plague, and it's going to target certain people that he wants to wipe out. He wants to be like kind of a selective eugenic, which that is a very classic spy movie Bond villain thing to do, and he is great. Rami Malek is great in this movie. He's very creepy. There were only really two big issues I had with this film. The first one is, from all the trailers, if you're expecting Ana de Armas to be the woman that Bond gets paired with in this movie, she's not. She's only in this movie for about 15 minutes, and most of her best stuff in this movie was shown in all the trailers. And then she never shows up again after about the first act. She's just kind of there to kind of end the first act, and then she never shows up again. Which is a shame, because she was awesome. Her character was witty, she was entertaining, she had a really good dynamic with Craig. Like, you could tell that they were in the movie Knives Out together because they worked very well off each other. So it's a shame that she wasn't in more of the film. And the second really big issue I have is, it's just like the hard drive in Skyfall. They make it seem like something is being set up to be important in the movie that isn't. Rami Malek has this very Phantom of the Opera type mask that he wears at the beginning of the movie, and then it cuts to a few years later, the next time you see him, and he's in the psychiatric facility, and the psychiatrist they bring in to analyze him, he makes a very big deal of talking about and showing this mask. Like, he has it in this keepsake box, and there's an entire scene basically where he talks about it, shows off this mask, and they make it seem like it's going to be super important to the plot, but at the end of the day, it's not important at all. It's just there so he can look cool. It's just there so he can put it on to look cool. So that was weird that they kind of set this up and it doesn't really serve any actual purpose to the plot. They have an entire scene where he talks about it, and other than that, it's not really important. But really, those were really the only two big issues I had with the film. I really enjoyed it. Now, keep in mind, the movie is almost 3 hours long. It's basically this equivalent of Avengers Endgame, where it is the send-off for Craig's Bond. So don't drink that large soda because you're going to have to hold it, because there's not really a lot of this film that you can rent to go to the bathroom, because it actually is a very important movie that you do need to pay attention to a lot of it. Like I said, I think the end of this film will be highly divisive. The way it ends, I thought was fine. I kind of see that that's where it was going to go, but people are either going to be really satisfied with this film, or going to think it was the perfect setup for Daniel Craig's Bond, or they're really going to hate it. And they're going to demand their money back. They're going to rant on every message board about how it ruined James Bond. They're going to absolutely drag this movie through the mud. And I think people are going to be debating about this movie for good or bad for a very long time, which is always fine that we're discussing this. So, as for me, I liked it. I thought No Time to Die was great. I would give it an A, a 9 out of 10, and a 4 out of 5 stars. So let me know what you guys thought about James Bond No Time to Die, and I will see you next time.